Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade. I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 482. Today is Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, and I'm glad you could join me today. I am recording on a Tuesday because, first off, my child's asleep. Second off, this room is mine again. And third off, ended up getting a little stuck. So I did want to show something to you guys before I rip out the swatch. So as a result, I needed to record as soon as this room was mine again. So, in exciting news, I did end up finishing the Dark Father socks. So that is mustache colorway representing Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. I sent it off with my in-laws because the friend who's receiving it lives in Columbus. So hopefully he gets those socks soon. I let him know who had them, and he can figure out how to get them on his own. So this is the first time that I've ever knit them something. But it is the case where I did teach him how to knit, so I think he gets that. So not too crazy there. So I'll figure out if I can put a picture on the screen around the 2-minute mark. I'm just saying that for my own information, but effectively speaking, I used the Just Ribbing pattern, which I think is like Darlene Thompson. Pattern's out of print. It's a 2x1 rib. I did 72 stitches. I did the heel flap with the other end of the ball of yarn in order to keep the striping sequence intact. And I did have a wee little bit of yarn from both, but for some reason I don't think my bag of socks is available at the moment. If I could show, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of leftovers, and that's fine. I wonder where that went, because I did need to finish putting the yarn away. Yeah, whatever. So that is the story there. So socks are all done, sent off to their recipient. Doing it that way does result in a bit more end stow even, because you could just do cast on and tail otherwise, but I think overall it gives a better look. So worth it in my mind. So, and since I finished the dragons the previous time, that did mean that I ended up getting to start something new. So I tried to cast this on at midnight and failed. So I ended up casting it on the next day instead. So I am knitting the fireworks hat. So this is an Olga Jazzy pattern. And so I had originally started this hat and wound the yarn for a class at SSK. And so we get a little bit of spiral pull at the top and then like micro stripes in the body of the hat. But it's double brioche. So this is a 2x2 rib. Up, and then I have to pause recording anyway, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and we're actually going to re-record. I'm back again, but you won't see what happened before. So, what to be? The Kathleen Bean is woken up, and apparently she needed a Snicker snack before she would be okay with hanging out with us today, which is fine. Sometimes you need a little food in order to continue. So, what would it be? So we were talking about my hat. So I'm working on the Fire Hat Works hat by Olga Jazzy. I'm knitting it out of Wollmeise Blend. in the M. Colton Polar and the Verhax and Verrect color. Um, I'll have to, I don't know, maybe at some point I will look up what the phrase means. So M. Colton Polar is a very saturated blue teal, reddish purple, bluish purple, and the Veract and Verax and Veract is the magenta from Ann Colton Polar, but also some like charcoaly and maybe even a little bit of whatever, like gray leaning magenta. Super, super happy how everything's turning out on this. So would it be? So it would be the case where, like I cast this on last week. I'm probably gonna finish it today. I just have to decide on what I want to do. There's just a little bit of spiral pooling at the top and then micro stripes throughout the rest of the hat, and that will continue because I'm not doing any stitch count changes for this. But like as a side effect, because those were 150 gram skeins, I will have quite a bit of leftovers. So the plan is to make a coordinating shawl to go with it. Would it have been easier to have made a cowl? Yes. Am I going to? No. Yeah, you holding it together? Interestingly, if I turn on auto volume, it's just sort of, it tries very hard to decrease decrease the crying. But it's a much better experience if the baby is not crying. Are you licking my sweater? Are you licking my sweater, sweetie? Yeah, yeah. So we'll just have medium level distraction. It shouldn't be too crazy. So super excited that I was able to pick up the double brioche without too much worry. The pattern did come with some videos, which I think was pretty helpful for figuring out exactly what to do for the increases. And then the class, which does not come with the pattern, also had a couple of ideas on doing decreases even though the pattern doesn't have it. So I am contemplating taking the peacock shawl and then modifying it such that it can be worked in double brioche, be the 22.5-degree shape. So like skinny shawl for sure. All right, well, I can see her turning red. Yeah, turning red is a precursor to crying sometimes. Yeah, it's a precursor sometimes. So there's an awful lot of changes that I need to make, and it's quite possible that the whole endeavor will fail. But I'm willing to at least give it a try. Yeah, I'm willing to at least give it a try. We'll see how things go. But like I had my goal for knit night last night actually was to try to finish up the knitting of the hat. But I probably have at least another inch to go. And my phone is blowing up. As you do. As you do. Nobody seems to be working today. Um, so so that is probably coming, so I'll be able to probably show off the finished hat next week. And then what I really like about it is, so I'm doing the folded brim. So I think it'll look really nice. Mm-hmm. But like it definitely is the case where you don't maybe get as much contrast, so I don't know if I'll have it be like I don't know whether or not it turns out that like this ends up being the better MC combination or not. We will see. We will see how things come together. But like I have like so much yarn. Like it's like I have made a dent, but so much yarn. So I think it's very feasible to have probably like approximately like a 50 to 100 gram hat, and then the rest, the remainder of the 200 or 200 gram shawl should be plenty good. Plenty good. But I'm designing using a knitting technique I just learned, so maybe that was bold. We'll find out next week on how things are going. Um, which then brings us to the second item, which is the swatch that I needed to share with you guys because I am at a bit of I'm at a bit of an impasse on the project until I shared. Um, so last time on the podcast, it was like, okay, um, getting ready to wind all the yarn. I'm going to figure out like what exactly I want to do with the Go-Go Dynamo shawl. Um, and so what I have going on is that I have so what I have are 3 yarns. So I have my handspun, which is what I really wanted to use in the project. And so this has greens, magentas, and a teal in it. And like sometimes it's leaning maybe a little darker, not too crazy. The other thing that I have is Fiber Optic Gleam in the Dolphin colorway and Fiber Optic Gleam in the Midnight colorway. And so what I can most definitively say is that if I knit the Go-Go Dynamo, oh, if I knit the Go-Go Dynamo in Gleam and Dolphin, I think that it would actually be quite fabulous. And let me show you the swatch. So there's a lot going on here. And perhaps you can even like see right now on the screen sort of what the conundrum is. So like the Midnight and the Handspun do not have very much contrast. And what you're seeing are just like various parts of this, various parts of the stitches that I've decided to just like knit out. Um, so we have garter stripes, we have brioche, we have some mosaic. So I have this section right here is the mosaic with the handspun and the blue. We have the mosaic with the gray. I have it alternating between the gray and blue. I have Field of Dolphin with handspun background. I have Field of handspun with the solids as whatever background. So this is handspun background and solid color foreground, and then I have some bubbles. And like maybe it's just a function of like what part of the yarn that I was knitting with. Um, but effectively speaking, like the places where I have like the magenta and green together, like it really ends up being sort of muddy looking to be quite frank. And so it's sort of making for like ambiguous contrast. So could I have potentially and the part of the swatch that I probably do like the best is when it went sort of clear colored. Yeah. But that's not the way that I spun the yarn, huh? That wasn't how I spun the yarn, huh? So, Yeah, it wasn't how I spun the yarn. So I think the conclusion, or would it be? And it was the case where I brought the swatch to knit night. Um, I talked it over with the other knitters, and so it was the case where, oh, we have come up with the sage wisdom of the time, which is arts are like farts, and if you try to force it, it might be poo. So, so we're definitely in the scenario where if I had tried to use the blue, the gray, and the hand spun together, um, it wasn't actually going to give me the thing that I wanted. Um, and so the right course of action is to probably knit the hand spun by itself and not try to have it be a two-color thing, and to take the merino silk blends that I bought, 2 skeins a piece for, because I couldn't decide. Honestly, I don't know whether or not I've taken a good sunshine photo of the swatch, so I should do that too. Um, but effectively speaking, the worst part of this swatch is the hand spun, and that's a sign that I needed to do something else. But I did want to show you guys, like what exactly going on. Or it'd be the case where, yes, I do have adequate contrast with the gray, so you can very clearly see what's going on. But the gray isn't necessarily making the hand spun look better. Um, like it seems like it's making it worse. And like, or would it be? And like I do like it with certain contrasts. So like with the magenta, when the hand spun's mostly magenta, it's fine. But the hand spun is many colors, and not just that one. So, so my thought process is that I may actually switch tacks. And so I'm thinking of actually knitting the Aeolian for myself. So that's an Elizabeth Friedman pattern. And she did a small number of designs for Knitty, so all of her patterns are for free. They are delightfully complicated, um, like lots of Estonian stitches. Um, and the Aeolian in particular was actually one that was also demoed for handspun as well. So not totally off my rocker for that one. I think Spunky Eclectic had like a spin along, knit along for it at some point. So there actually are quite a few handspun examples. So it is the case where I'm thinking that'll probably end up being the better choice. I have knit the laminaria in a big old gradient. And so that actually went to a dear friend. Probably would it be? It's from the podcast days, so it's somewhere. Or honestly, most of my handspun is from podcast days anyway, so. But what I'm gonna do this afternoon is I will take pictures of my swatch at the very least, just so it's documented. Just so it's documented. And then I'll end up ripping out the yarns. And what I need to decide is do do I start, or would it be, one question is, do I already have the Aeolian pattern printed out? Which I might, because I have knit it before. Um, or if I do the Go-Go Dynamo, because I have everything ready to go. The other thing that I ended up finding out was, so I knit the swatch using my US4 needles, and it looks like based on my gauge I should be knitting it on threes instead. So that's the those are the questions right now. Um, is effectively speaking, it was like, okay, I need to switch needles. I need to clean up the yarn. And then it's a question of, did I have greater priority did I have greater priority for knitting the handspun or knitting the go-go dynamo? Yeah, I know. It's hard. So, but I did want to show. I was like, yeah, it just didn't quite work out. And then the brioche, like, it's sort of wild. Like, it's just the case for whatever reason, like, the handspun just really wants to, like, recede in the background. Okie dokie. It's like, we needed to apparently have, like, a little conversation. Little pep talk. Finish the podcast. So, so it would be the case where, so I need to decide which, which one, which one I'm going to be, which, which shawl I want to knit first, or if I'm going to end up doing them back to back, or if I just have three shawls at the same time. Oh, shenanigans. Three shawls at the same time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that your plan, Kathleen? You think mommy should have three shawls at the same time? It's like, are we sure? Are we sure? You don't sound uncertain. You don't sound uncertain, do you? Yeah. Oh, you want to be looking at me, huh? You want to be looking at me, huh? So, so that's the question. Now, the reason why my phone is blowing up is because not this weekend, but the weekend after. So not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. Um, and then the one after that will be the Bay Area Yarn Crawl. Um, and I guess that's not true. It'll be like it starts the 14th of March and goes through the 22nd or something like that. And my knit group is furiously texting about what we want to do. What we want to do all those days. Um, so I have the flexibility to actually um go on weekdays, and a few other people in the group can do that too. Um, but um, yeah, I'm not quite sure what the game plan is going to be. Um, there might be some sort of or would it be? Like the thing is, the person who's doing a lot of the organizing is refusing to go to one of the shops because it's really far away. So then if I want to go to that shop, I will be on my own. And then there was also a whole thing about being able to go to Din Tai Fung for dumplings, but it turns out that they don't have open reservations um, on the weekend. So there is no scenario in which the knit night can go have Xiaolong Bao at that location. And Din Tai Fung is it's a chain. It's a chain restaurant. So they're based out of Taiwan, doing lots of dim sum things, which is a Hong Kong thing, but also Xiaolongbao or Shang, whatever. They're called soup dumplings, and they're from Shanghai, which I've had in Shanghai, and they were quite good. So, whatever. Um, but we'll see how things come together, whether or not I'll even end up recording that first weekend. We'll see. Um, I don't know what it'd be. It's also like a little bit more tricky because for the last yarn crawl, there was like one day where DPN and I did end up hitting up a couple. We ended up doing some East Bay shops because I was just trying to get a bingo on one of the bingo cards. Um, and so we did some East Bay shops and then did Firebird or something like that. And then the next day we went as a big group. and I ended up doing driving. But this time around, like Kathleen is much smaller, much less independent, so it would be the case where she does need to come along for this adventure. So I've rejiggered the configuration of car seats so that she is behind me, so that two adults, two more adults can fit in the car. Um, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Um, but it is definitely a little bit trickier this time around. So it may be the case where it needs to just be spread out over a longer time period, or I have to go in weekdays instead of weekends because it'll be a little bit too epic. We'll see. And also there's the problem of like I'm not even really sure I need need very much right now. Um so like one thing that I will end up doing is when I end up switching out my needle size, I will end up needing to I will have to figure out like what things I might be missing, or just like put together like a list of notions and stuff that I could pick up at other swatches. So it would be because it would be the case where there are whatever. Every store has like a little bit different for so I just need to basically put together a list because I chaotically bought some stuff and got duplicates and whatever. Yeah. And maybe it's the case where there might be some other things where it could be handy. For example, like I don't have like a full set of size 40 PNs. I no longer have the size for Tiny Cirque, so would it be? So it would be the case where I can probably sit down and figure out uh, what Tiny Cirque sizes I'm missing, what double point sizes I'm missing, and just sort of fill out my tools nicely, whether or not I want like size 2.5 bisque circular, like that. That's sort of where my mind's at right now. Or if I need another needle to knit 3 shawls at once. Yeah, you want me to knit 3 shawls at once, right, Kathleen? Yeah, right? That's the plan? Are you okay with that plan? You think it's okay? Okay. So, I don't know, we'll see what ends up happening. It was like it doesn't feel like the yarn needs are that great right now. So, we'll see how it goes. So we'll see if I end up recording again in maybe like a little bit longer of a time. We'll see how it goes. Uh, so with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So take care, guys. Bye bye.